potato salad with no mayo is vegan, vegetarian, and a lot lower in calories. My recipe is based on the traditional Argentine potato salad recipe. If you're looking for a new recipe that's easy, delicious, healthy, as well as good for vegans and vegetarians, keep watching. As I said in the intro, the basis for this potato salad with no mayo recipe is Argentine ensalada rusa, or Russian salad. Russian salad is a recipe for potato salad that exists in a lot of Latin American countries. I know there's a Peruvian version, Venezuelan version, Dominican version, and I think there's a Spanish version as well, each variation being slightly different. But the basis of the Argentine version is potatoes, carrots, peas, and mayo. Although that's absolutely delicious, it's a bit high in calories, so I've come up with a version of ensalada rusa that has a lot fewer calories. What I like to do is I like to make the salad half potato and half peas and carrots, and I do that by cooking the potato, but before I cook it, I weigh it, and then whatever amount in weight I have of potato, I add that same amount in weight of peas and carrots. I know in the United States, very few people cook using grams, so you might have to guesstimate a little bit, but even if the ratio is a bit off, I think you'll still be okay. I am using frozen peas and carrots. You could use canned, you could use fresh, but I think frozen is less quilombo, as the Argentines would say, a lot less trouble. And the potatoes, I am not going to boil them. I'm going to steam them in the microwave. It's a lot faster, and I think they turn out a bit drier, which is what you need, because if you put a dressing on a salad and it's wet, the dressing won't stick to the salad, so it won't be as good. Here I have just under 300 grams of potatoes. As you can see, 2 small potatoes. I'm not going to peel them. I'm literally just going to cut off the ends, maybe poke a hole here and there, and then I'm going to wrap them in wax paper, and then I'm going to put them in the microwave for about 5 minutes on high. Before I microwave the potatoes, I want to show you the amount of peas and carrots that I'm using. Like I said, by weight, I like to do equal parts potato and frozen peas and carrots. Here I have 283 grams, or 10 ounces, should be 1 1/4 cups. I know now it looks like a ton of peas and carrots, but the potatoes, I'm going to dice them. And once everything is mixed together, it's really going to spread out. And if you want your salad to have a good amount of color, you have to add a lot of peas and carrots. So if you're just eyeballing this, if you're not using grams like I am, you're probably going to have to add more peas and carrots than you think you are going to have to. So just a tip. Both the potatoes and the peas and carrots are done. The potatoes I microwave for a total of 5 minutes together, and then the larger potato an extra minute. So a little bit longer than I had originally intended, but instead of giving you an exact time amount, I think it's better to give you a texture, because not all potatoes are the same size. When it's still wrapped in the wax paper, I'll bring it closer. It should be soft, but not too soft. See how when I press it, it gives a little bit, but it doesn't go all the way in. It's easier to see like this. See, I'm pressing on it, and it's giving. It's been about 20 minutes since the vegetables, the peas and carrots, came out of the microwave. They're completely cooled now. They're still a little bit wet, but most of the water has evaporated. So I am going to go ahead and put the salad together. I'm going to cut the potatoes, like I said, into small cubes. I'm going to dice them. I'm going to try to make the pieces of the potato the same size as the pieces of carrot. Now you might be wondering why something called Russian salad is part of so many Latin American countries. I tried to find the origin of the salad, and really quickly, these potatoes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them one way and then I'm going to go this way. So I'm going to cut them in one direction and then the other to make the cubes. Like I said, it's called Russian salad, but it's in Latin America. Why is that? I tried to find the origin of this recipe, and the best that I could find is that it's probably actually French, and in the 1800s, if something was called Russian, it meant that it was a salad of cooked ingredients that was then cooled and covered in mayo. So that's interesting, because there are recipes from French cookbooks in the mid-1800s that call things Russian, that, like I said, they're dishes that are salads of cooked vegetables and sometimes meat covered in mayo. However, what's interesting is that there was a chef, Lucien Olivier, who opened a high-end restaurant in Moscow in the 1800s, and he had a salad that was cooked things covered in mayo, and then other restaurants in Moscow tried to copy that dish and compete with him, and then because of that restaurant, supposedly the Russian salad, it spread throughout the Russian Empire, and then it came to Argentina, possibly through the French or possibly through the Volga Germans. And see how I cut it this different direction? Now they are kind of in the cubes that I want. Now I'm going to go through, and if there are any pieces that didn't cut quite as nicely as I wanted them to, see it's falling apart into cubes as I lift it up, because it's been cooling me about half an hour now. That's what we want, but if there's anything that's not quite small enough, I'll just go through another time. One way that it may have entered Argentine cuisine is through the Volga Germans. Volga Germans are people of ethnic German descent who lived along the Volga River in Germany, along the Volga River in Russia. I don't know if you're history buff and you've ever heard of Stalingrad. Stalingrad was a city in Russia in the Soviet Union, and it was the site of a very big battle in the Second World War. It was basically the turning point. And in the, I think it was 1600s or early 1700s, Catherine the Great of Russia, she invited Germans to settle along the Volga River in that part of the Russian Empire. And she promised them things like no military service and low taxes and things like that. But then eventually, people felt like they weren't being treated how they wanted to be. The terms of their settlement there started to change. Like, they asked military service and things like that, if I remember correctly. And so then they started to emigrate, and some of them went to Argentina. And there are actually towns in Argentina that are almost all Volga German. And I believe in the Great Plains in the United States, there are a lot of Volga Germans as well. So maybe it's called ensalada rusa, Russian salad, because it was introduced by the Volga Germans. So that is a possible origin as well. All I know is that it tastes good. And this is a very common side dish for asados, for barbecues, or milanesa alla napolitana, the veal parmesan, for which I have a video on my channel. And I know people ask me all the time, hey, do you have to use veal for the milanesa alla napolitana? No, I just call it veal parmesan because that's the best way to describe it in words that people who speak English will know. But you can use any type of beef.
At this point, I realized that my bowl was definitely not big enough, so I wouldn't be able to make all of the Russian salad at once. Since I wanted to maintain the 1-to-1 ratio of potato and peas and carrots, I brought out my scale. However, if you don't have a scale, I'm sure you could use measurements of volume, half cups, 1 cups, to make this potato salad.
I added 150 grams of the cooked potato to this bowl. So now I'm going to add 150 grams of the cooked peas and carrots. You could measure everything cooked, you could measure everything raw, just as long as you're consistent.
I estimated that I had about 1/2 to 2/3 of a cup each of potato and peas and carrots, to which I added 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt.
And what's good about this is that if you do want some mayo, you could put a little bowl off to the side, and when you serve yourself, you just put a little bit of mayo on it, and that's it. People, those who want mayo can have mayo. Those who want a little bit more lemon juice can put more lemon juice. People who want to put maybe some mustard on it, they can. But I think this is a good base. If you want potato salad with no mayo, this is light, refreshing, flavorful. Good if you're trying to cut down on calories. It's good for vegetarians, vegans, whatever kind of potato salad you want. This is it. Another good way to mix up this potato salad with no mayo recipe is by adding beet. I know that might sound a bit odd, but the Peruvian version of ensalada rusa has beet, and actually on accident one time I tried it with beet because I had a steak and I had my Russian salad and then I had some microwave beets on the plate, and the Russian salad and the beets touched, and I tried it and I really liked it. So that is a good way to add flavor to a potato salad without adding mayo. You know, I don't like quilombo. I like to do things the easiest way possible, so I'm just gonna microwave this. You could use canned beets, but fresh is best. What I'm going to do is I already washed this beet. I'm going to cut off the bottom, there aren't any leaves on this, so I think it'll be okay if we just leave the top on. I'm gonna poke 2 holes in this, and then I'm gonna take some wet paper and I'm going to wrap it up just like I did with the potato. If you are worried about this dying the inside of your microwave, you could definitely put this inside of a dish, but I'm not going to. I'm going to microwave this on high I'm going to start off with 3 minutes because just like with the potato, I don't want it to be overcooked because I want it to hold its shape.
When you cut the beetroot, cut it in the same way that you cut the potato. First, make a series of horizontal lines, then turn the cutting board and make vertical lines perpendicular to the first set of lines. Although I left the sliced beetroot on top of the potato salad in this video, later on I mixed it together. But first I wanted to let you know that if you do mix the beetroot in with this potato salad, be forewarned that it will start to dye everything purple. If you don't have much experience working with beets, they stain very easily, as you can see from the cutting board and my fingers. The staining will be especially pronounced if you decide to use this recipe and add mayo to it. The juices in the beetroot mixed with the mayo is sure to turn everything pink or purple. Aesthetics aside, using beets to flavor potato salad with no mayo is a great option. As you've seen throughout the video, using Argentinian ensalada rusa as a basis for potato salad with no mayo recipe is a great idea. Although I said 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, for the amount of potato salad that I made in this recipe, I think you might actually want to add 4, and perhaps even another tablespoon of olive oil. I tend to be fairly conservative when I give my followers advice on really strong ingredients like lemon juice because I know that we all tolerate different amounts. And like I said earlier in the video, once you add it, it's really hard to take. And even if beet sounds like an odd thing to add to a potato salad recipe, you should definitely give it a try. It's really good. I know I kind of stumbled across it by accident, but sometimes in the kitchen, the best things tend to happen by accident.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. For more information about Argentinian food and Southern recipes, please visit my website, parnellthechef.com, and be sure to follow me on social media. Right now, I'm most active on Twitter and Instagram. Once again, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.